Anderson. How are you today?
I'm doing all right.
Well, I appreciate you giving me some information about what's been going on with some of the stresses that you've had going on with your son and with work. And because we know that sometimes substance use can lead to problems with things like our mood and our sleeping, would it be okay with you if I took a few minutes to do a quick substance use screening with you? It'll take maybe no more than 10 minutes.
That'll be fine, yeah.
Okay, thank you. So before we get going, the first part is around your alcohol use. And so a standard drink, when we talk about a standard drink, means a 12-ounce regular beer, 5-ounce glass of wine, or 1.5 ounces of liquor. Okay. So how often would you say you have a drink containing alcohol?
Pretty much every day.
Okay, every day. Mm-hmm. And how many drinks containing alcohol do you have on a typical day when you're drinking?
3 or 4 glasses of wine.
I see. 3 or 4. And how often would you say that you have 5 or more drinks on any given occasion?
Maybe once a month.
Okay. And how often during the last year would you say that you found you were not able to stop drinking once you had started?
About once a month.
Okay. And how often in the last year would you say you failed to do what was normally expected of you because of your drinking?
Probably once a month.
Mm-hmm. All right. And in the last year, how often do you feel like you've needed a first drink in the morning to get yourself going after a heavy drinking session?
Oh, no, I don't do that. Never.
And how often in the last year have you had a feeling of guilt or remorse after your drinking?
It's not that often, maybe every other month or so.
Okay, not too often.
I try not to, but it does happen.
Okay, it happens sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And how often in the last year have you been unable to remember what happened the night before because of your drinking?
The same, it's rare, but maybe every other month or so.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And have you or someone else ever been injured because of your drinking?
No.
No. And has a relative, friend, doctor, or other healthcare worker been concerned about your drinking or suggested you cut down?
Yeah, my husband's been getting on my case, so yeah.
He's been giving you a hard time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nagging me here over the last week or so.
Oh, he's really been on you lately?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I appreciate you answering that around your alcohol use. And how many times in the last year would you say that you've used an illegal drug or prescription medication for non-medical reasons? So for example, the experience or feeling the drug caused, or use more than the amount prescribed for you?
Oh, I don't do drugs, so never.
Okay. You don't use any drugs, and you feel like your drinking has been fairly moderate up until more recently.
Right.
Could you tell me a little bit more about your drinking?
Well, up until about 6 months ago, I would just come home in the evenings, maybe have a glass of wine while I was fixing dinner, and then one with dinner. But after I lost my job 6 months ago and everything just kind of, it's been so stressful, I just find that I'll have maybe another glass or 2 after dinner now in the evenings. And, just to kind of, keep the stress level down.
So you find yourself drinking more than you had intended?
Yeah. It's just been a very stressful time.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit more. What's been going on with your stress level? What's been happening?
Well, about 6 months ago, I lost my job. Finances got very tight, and, whatever cushion we had in savings is getting depleted quickly. And my husband and I, are arguing more about finances. And then near the end of school, my son came home and told me that, they called the school call because he had gotten into a big fight and he got expelled, and he just doesn't see the problem. So all of that is just making it really stressful in my life right now. My husband's just getting really antsy that I find another job, so it's starting to cause more arguments just about money and when am I going to find a job.
Your son getting kicked out of school, and sounds like he's been increasingly more rebellious, and then the finances are a huge stressor, and then you mentioned your husband's been on you more lately, so there's been a lot going on.
So that's why the sleep problem is really important, because I'm not getting sleep and I'm just stressed out, and it's just really taking a toll on me.
Yeah, you're exhausted.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I appreciate you coming in today to talk about this with me, and also just for being so open and honest about what's been going on.
Thank you.
So some of the things that alcohol does for you is it seems like it's helping you with some acute stress that's been going on for you. And it sounds like perhaps it's also been helping you with getting to sleep, although, later on in the evening it's been a little challenging for you to stay asleep.
Right.
What are some of the not so good things about your drinking?
Oh, well, the arguments that we're having, I know like last week, my son came in and he announced that he didn't even think he wanted to go back to school. He was just going to drop out, and I had already had several glasses of wine, so I just grabbed a gin bottle and did a couple of shots of gin, and I guess I passed out on the bathroom floor, and my husband found me on the floor, and that started a big argument in the middle of the night. So, that's just one more stress that I just don't need.
Right. It seems to help as a stress reliever,
Yeah.
but on the other hand, it's actually starting to cause you a great deal more stress, and you're
It
like,
did then.
at a time when you really don't need it.
Right.
Yeah. Well, this is a ruler that I have on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 being not at all important and 10 being very important. How important do you feel like it would be for you at this point to start thinking about making a change with your drinking?
Probably about a 5.
A 5? That's a pretty significant amount. Why a 5 and not a 2 or a 3?
Well, I know that it's causing all these arguments and things, and I need to do something to reduce the level of stress.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you're really ready to start taking some stress out of your life,
Yeah.
and maybe doing something about your drinking would help with that. You're ready to think about that.
Yeah.
So, again, it sounds like the drinking in the last 6 months or so has helped with this increasing stress to a degree, but has also really been leading to more arguments with your husband, not helping at all with the financial stressors or stress with your son, really.
Right.
What else have I missed?
I don't think so. Anything. I mean, it's just, it does. I get to sleep. It helps me get to sleep, but then I wake up and can't stay asleep, so it's not really helping me stay asleep. And it's causing more of the arguments with my husband. Now we were already arguing about finances, and then arguments about, my son, and now on top of that, I'm having arguments about my alcohol use.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you're exhausted,
Mhm.
and you really can't go on like this.
Right.
Yeah. Well, would it be okay with you now if we had a discussion about the results of your screener that we
Oh,
just
sure.
did?
Yeah.
Okay. So the score that you got on the drug use screening was 0. So that's actually wonderful.
Okay.
That's wonderful that you don't use any illegal drugs or any
Right.
prescription drugs that aren't as prescribed,
Right.
and that has associations with really positive health outcomes.
Okay.
So that's great. And then your score on the alcohol screener was a 17. So that puts you in the harmful category.
Oh.
And so if you look at this risk level pyramid here, the harmful category puts you in about the 20th percentile. So what that means is that 80% of other folks approximately tend to drink either not at all or less than the level that you're drinking at now.
Okay.
And what we know for low-risk drinking limit recommendations are that for a woman your age, it's no more than 3 standard drinks a day and no more than 7 drinks in a week.
Oh, okay.
So what do you make of all that?
Well, I know that I need to make some changes because I just, it's causing a lot more issues for me.
Yeah, you really want to be sure that you're attending to your health at the same time as trying to attend to everything that's really stressing you out right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So could we talk a couple minutes about your interest in making a change then with your drinking?
Okay.
Okay, so this scale of 0 to 10, 0 being not at all ready and 10 being very ready, how ready would you say you are to make a change in your drinking?
Probably about a 5.
A 5. And why 5 and not a 2 or a 3?
Well, I know I need to make changes. I just don't know that I can.
you're a little uncertain
Yeah.
about just your ability
Right.
to change how things have been going.
Right.
But at the same time, you really feel ready to make a change.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, we talked a little bit about what your drinking has looked like and what the low-risk drinking limits recommendations are. What would you like to do about your drinking? What would you like that to look like?
Well, I know I used to just drink 1 or 2 glasses of wine in the evenings, and I didn't seem to have as much problems. And now I'm drinking 3 or 4, so I don't know if maybe cutting back to where I'm only drinking 1 or 2 maybe in the evenings, or even just 1, whether that would help.
Okay. Well, and that's a great suggestion because, as we talked about, if you had 1 in the evening every evening, you'd still be at that low-risk drinking limit of no more than 7 in a week. All right, so does that sound like something you'd like to do?
Yeah, I mean, I can give it a try.
Yeah, that's great. Well, if it's okay with you, why don't we follow up in a week and we'll just see how things have been going, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.